All right, here we are, man. Dirty Thursday brought to you by River Cities Speedway. Had some issues. We got knocked off the air. Now, of the thousands of shows we have done, this has never, ever happened to us before. So all you people, bear with us. I know my phone's been going crazy. People are trying to text us. We completely lost everything. On the show today, though, we have got Mark Dobmeier, of course. Wes Irwin's in the house with the World of Outlaws. And also Chewy is here. He's back bartending right now in the corner, Jeff. Jeff is here, too. Show brought to you by not only River City Speedway, but Northwest Tire on Gateway Drive. You know what? They're looking for some help. Maybe you want to get that front counter sales job. Get a hold of Chad Hoff, 701-780-8473, or you can apply online at nwtire.com. For those of you that were watching earlier, I'm going to just try to jump back into what we were talking about before we got knocked off the air. And again, we lost everything. Everything Dirty Thursday is pretty much gone right now. Paul, the producer, is kind of searching for it. But we were talking with Mark Dobmeier. We were talking a little bit about Forks Karting and how great of a job they're doing over there, and the wing carts coming in now and stuff. But I wanted to ask you this, Mark. Down in Arizona, I mean, okay, you go back a couple of years, the scary crash with the broken back. Very lucky, but you're a tough son of a bitch. You came back. And then Arizona this winter. Kind of a weird deal, but explain to us what happened.
Yeah, it was a very strange deal. At the end of the day, there was a fuel leak in the engine compartment, and on a sprint car dash, there's a few holes where lines are running through, and then also where your throttle linkage goes through, you got to have a little bit bigger hole, and that's right by your right leg. Well, as I was racing, I felt a little bit of coolness on my leg, and I was like, "Oh man, it must be a fuel leak," you know. And
because that fuel is cold, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it's alcohol, it's methanol, so it's cold to the touch. So I was like, I suspected a small fuel leak, but then it went away and I didn't feel anything. So I ran probably 2 more laps, and then all of a sudden I felt it again and it got worse. So the leak had sprung or got worse, and then I felt fuel coming on me. So I was trying to get out of the race as quick as I could. I was coming around 3 and 4, and my plan was the safety crew and all the crews were pitted in the infield of the track. So my plan was to roll down the front stretch, hit the ignition switch, which kills all the spark, and then just pull in there and just get out of the race, because obviously there was an issue there.
Sure.
And lo and behold, the yellow flag came out because somebody had spun out on the other side of the track. Well, cars slowed up right in front of me, so I didn't have time to hit the ignition switch. I got out of the gas, and when you do that, it always throws a little fire, backfire out the exhaust pipe, and that's all it took. As soon as I let out of the gas, I heard the woof, you know, like a fire starting, and there was a lot more fuel in there than I realized because the whole car was pretty much engulfed. So at that point, it's just kind of survival instinct. So I got down to the bottom of the track so somebody wouldn't hit me, and I hit the brakes. I spun it to a 180 and tried to methodically, I guess, unbuckle your belt so you don't get tangled up or anything. So pretty tough to do when you're on fire. You're a little excited, but I threw the belts to the side, jumped out as fast as I could, and just started rolling on the track. I knew I had fuel on me, so I had to try to get it out somehow. So I just did the stop, drop, and roll, and I kept rolling. I felt like I rolled forever, and then as I was rolling, I actually heard on my driver radio, because I have my radio hooked onto my helmet. I actually heard red, red, red. I'm like, oh my God, they just realized now that
oh boy,
now that I'm on fire. So.
Now, is that fire invisible? Can you see the flames actually?
You could see the flames. Basically, methanol is an invisible fire until dirt or something enters it, dirt or oil or anything or dust, and then it'll start producing.
Sure, it'll burn whatever's in the air.
Yeah, exactly. So I just kept rolling, and then finally somebody got to me, and then there was two drivers as well, Dominic Selzy, and it's slipping my mind. There was another kid that jumped out of his car, and they got to me about the same time that the fire crew got to me, and it literally took one little squirt of the fire extinguisher, and I was out. I had most of it out by then, but it was at that point the damage was done, you know. So
you had snapped, chatted pictures to me throughout this whole ordeal. I mean, you went through 2 rounds of skin grafts, a lot of trips. You were in a burn unit in ICU in Arizona for how long? Burn unit in the Twin Cities, for a long time. I saw the pictures. I saw what your legs looked like. Man, I tell you, when it first happened, though, it looked like, I mean, you were basically Snapchatting in the ambulance, a little big deal, it looks like they didn't look that bad.
It didn't look bad, and that's probably the biggest lesson I learned is that burns, they take 48 to 72 hours to show their true face. So honestly, that night, right away, I took a Snapchat of my legs. They looked fine. It looked like a bad
sunburn.
Looked like a bad sunburn, and there's obviously skin hanging off of them. they didn't look bad at all. And I'm like, oh, I'll be all right. Next thing you know, they're talking life flight and this and that. And they landed the helicopter and took me off in that and got me to the hospital right away. And like that night, I could still like get up out of bed, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. I felt fine, just a lot of pain, you know. And the next day I could do that. And then after that, there was no getting out of bed for me. It was like, the pain set in, the burns kind of came to the surface. And
I mean, imagine I've been burned enough. You know, I've almost lost limbs from being burned. I mean, people complain about a sunburn. I know what it's like to be burned that bad, and now you know what it's like to be burned that bad. But there's no way to explain it. You cannot explain it. And when you were talking about the rounds of skin grafting that they did to you and things like that, when they got to pull people, they cut skin off of you and patch you up, just like you're putting Bondo on a car, but they staple it. They have to staple all that skin on. Well, imagine how tender you are from the burns, and then when they start pulling those staples out, the way you explained it to me, you got to have a sack about this huge, dude.
When you get in predicaments like that, it's just you don't have a choice. There's no options. It's not that you can't do it or anything. So anybody could do it. It's just you don't have a choice. There's no options. You
right.
Do whatever you got to do. But
and the prognosis is good. Obviously, you're racing. You get back in the race car. You win a feature here at River Cities Speedway. Kind of feel like vindicated, or just like, hey, back to business. It was one step forward, 2 steps back. Let's just go now.
That's the way I am. I just always kind of truck forward and get through it. You know, we sat in Arizona for a week and a half. We did skin grafts there, and they did kind of the upper part of the leg. And there were still other spots, but I kind of talked nice to the doctors and asked what I needed to do, and got out of there a little early so we could get back to home anyway and be around my family and that. So I went to Minneapolis. I did a couple skin grafts there, and and after that, it was pretty much full on. Let's start the PT. Let's go. And been doing a lot of that a couple times a week, and just kind of rocking and rolling, getting back to where you need to. And the biggest thing for me, I think that helps me kind of jump back so fast, so to say, is just getting back to work. I'm not I'm a busybody. I can't be sitting around. So even between my hospital visits, between Arizona and Minneapolis, when I got back, I told my wife right away, I was like, well, I got to get into work, you know?
Yeah.
And whether it's answering phones or talking to customers or doing invoicing, whatever, I could help out. So I could put in about a half a day. So like for that week in between, I actually went into work for half days, and I just sat at the front desk and did what I could to help the guys out, because the shop's real busy too, you know. So
I will admit, that's the first time I've ever seen you wearing shorts. You were at work. Granted, your legs were wrapped from your thigh all the way down to your toes, but it's the first time I've ever seen you wear shorts. Now, the racetrack you were at, I don't know what track it was. We don't have to name it. It's not a big deal, but not all racetracks have an ambulance on site full time. I believe that one did not. That's kind of changed your thoughts about racing now, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You know, and I didn't. It's nothing I really. I mean, if you see an ambulance, you assumed everything's there, but it was. And they did a good job. They did what they could, but the proper stuff was not there when they got me into the ambulance. They were talking, they need this and this. Well, it was kind of like I think it was some sort of a volunteer fire crew or something. But so I actually opened cabinets in the ambulance to try help them look for stuff. And the cabinets were empty. So
my goodness.
It was basically a box with some shiny lights on it, you know? And it's just like, I was just like, this is crazy. Like, how can you run a race and not have a legit ambulance there ready to go? And they did get one there fairly quick after that, and got the situation taken care of. But it's definitely, I mean, I see no reason to run a sprint car, you know, race competitively if there's not enough proper stuff there. So
no, I agree with you 100%. And I did want to ask you this. I mean, you had the broken back. You really got lucky. You came back right away. Now this, again, you got lucky, and now you're back. And I can remember looking at you, and you couldn't even hardly move. And I'm like, well, when do you ever plan on racing again? Yep. As soon as I can. I plan on being there opening night. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, you got to have goals.
You do.
You got to have something to strive for.
You do.
Keep going.
Now, the second half of this question is, what about your wife's goals? How's she taking all of this? I mean,
you know, I have the best wife in the world. She's very understanding. She raced herself in snowmobiles and that, and she kind of, you know,
she knew what she was getting herself into.
What she was getting into, and but yeah, we've had several talks, and it was kind of, you know, we talked probably a month before the season started, as I was still really injured, and we both knew I was going to go back racing. It was just kind of a matter of when, and we're both on board and everything. But I will say the week before I jumped in, I think her feet got a little colder than mine were.
Yeah. Yep.
But we've worked through it, and it's she's definitely on board. And
I think she runs the show.
Yeah. Well, ask anybody who's married who runs the show, and as long as she's not here, they'll usually tell you what. But we're still getting texts. Are we back on Facebook? Do you know, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay, a guy said he's still trying to. One of our Canadian buddies, he lost us. Should be back now. He said not quite for me, but we can get caught up on a couple of texts now since we went off the air. Jack Croker, great dude. I'll beat him one day. As long as his boys keep repping the 8-ball gear, we'll be in good shape. Glad he's back. Amanda Joe, glad Mark's back. My season wouldn't be the same without him. Alvin, watching guys. Billy Schletter, Wes Irwin, any wings this week or weekend to make sure to make your wing count more? And hello, everyone. That's about the dumbest question I've ever heard going to you. Any wings this week?
No, it's a thing.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
I know.
It's the thing I'm doing this year. I'm doing Wes's wing count.
Yep.
If you follow Living Like Outlaws, you'll see a flashing light, and that tells you how many. It all started with I like wings. I mean, obviously, but we get to go to all these different restaurants, and I like comparing wings. So I thought, why not do a count this year? We're gonna have a contest next month on it. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay. Now, I was trying to explain this to my wife, and she knows you good enough now. But I said, I bet you 75 to 85% of his meals are wings. Am I way off or am I close?
Yeah, you're pretty damn close. I do eat a lot of wings.
Yeah?
Now, I do have rules, though. I have rules. Unfortunately, Mark's not going to like one of my rules.
Okay.
That's number one. Number one, Hooters and Buffalo Wild Wings do not count.
Okay, because they're such a big chain.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so
You're
don't
looking
count.
for the little mom pop.
That's correct.
Okay.
And I'm trying to expose those places
Sure.
near a racetrack. So, my page is all about fans. And that way the fans get to go to these places as well. So we've had we did some last night at Broken Drum. So it's definitely going to go up, and we're going to Pirates K, man.
That's
this
a gimme
evening.
when
I
you're here.
love that place.
Sure.
They're on my top 5 for sure.
Paul says, I have pictures of my body with 60% third-degree burns, 14 skin grafts. Regions Burn Unit is the best. Keep plucking away, Mark.
Regions
Nick
Burn
Curtis
Unit is definitely one of the best places to go. That's actually who did my back surgery a few years ago. And then, so when I had to come back here, the closest burn unit around here is Minneapolis. There's a couple of them there, but obviously when Regions was an option, there we are.
So they pretty much, it was like me years back going to United or Altru. They all knew me by first name basis. It's kind of getting that way with you down there, isn't it?
We know a few people down there, but fortunately not everybody yet.
So is there anything you could have done different? It's just one of those things. People talk about how racing is so dangerous, and it can be. And we've seen it because and the reason when I say could anything been done different, because your crash with the broken back looked like nothing. It looked like absolutely nothing. We saw what happened, and now something like this happens. It's just kind of a bad luck.
Yeah, I mean it's just part of the game, man. This stuff does happen. But if you look at over the years I've been racing, how many races I've ran and all that, it's really not. It's a very small percentage of the times I actually got hurt, but yes, it can happen. It's an option, But the World of Outlaws they're taking steps, like the fire extinguisher thing was something this year.
Yep.
And that's going to change. There's going to be some guys that won't race here on Friday
because they're
night
not
because they don't have a fire extinguisher. It's like it's an $800 option to put on your car, but I mean that's obviously I'm a poster child for it now.
Yeah.
It's good stuff that's happening. They've done a lot for safety.
It's all for the
last
greater
years.
good, man.
Yeah,
All for the
right.
greater good.
Right. You're flying again now.
Yeah,
Saw you're up in the plane.
Yeah, so I got 2 stories for you. So, first of all, the Jack Croker, we got to go back to him a little bit.
Okay.
So I got two boys, Jackson and Ty, and Ty, we'll call him Ty-Nado, absolutely loves Jack Croker.
Oh yeah.
But it's been because his car is red. He always has a red car, and that's his favorite color. Like literally every pair of clothes he has, it's red shirt, red pants, red shoes, something. It's just red. So. He's been all over Jack Croker for years, and Jack Croker is up here. Dad is somewhere down on the floor there, So when I was at Regions, I had to go there about 3-4 weeks ago, and they fitted me for permanent compression socks. So it's one that's fitted right to my leg. They got a zipper on them and all that. So they fitted me for the socks. When they got all done, they handed me a sheet of paper, and they said, well, what color do you want? And I'm like, color? You get to pick your color of socks? Like, oh yeah. So it's about every color under the rainbow. I'm like, well, I'm gonna try to get Ty to cheer for me this year. So give me them red.
I just
socks.
could never imagine you wearing red anything.
I'm just trying to get him to cheer for me, So
Did it work?
It worked. He's loving them. As soon as I
love you again, Dad.
I didn't tell him, but when I walked in with him, and then I pulled my fat legs up so he could see him, and he was kissing my feet by the end of it. So it was pretty cool. But back to the flying thing. So last Thursday I had to go down to the cities to get these socks.
Yep.
Which is kind of annoying because can't you just send them to me and I'll put them on? But
Right.
they have to make sure the fit's right and this and that. So I have to go all the way down there. So, but
For a pair of socks.
yeah, for a pair of socks. So, but I'm feeling good. I got good movement in my ankles and all that. So I was like, well, let's cheat a little bit and take the airplane. So I called up Davey Heskin, who runs Maxwell Props out of Crystal, Minnesota. He races in Knoxville a lot. And good friend of mine. So I called him up, asked if I could borrow a vehicle. He said, yeah, no problem. So I landed right at their prop shop, jumped in his grandpa's vehicle, went over to the hospital, and got my socks put on and came back and flew back. So it worked out pretty good. It was fun.
Good. I thought at first when I saw you were in the plane, I thought you were maybe chasing the fugitive. Could you even do that right now if you had to?
Oh, we're back at that too. We've had just last couple of weeks. I had a few different ones.
Did you have to run?
No, I had to jump through a window in a trailer house in Emerado, though, so that was kind of fun. So.
That's fun. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I know. I'd love to be able to tag along with him one time.
Yeah, we had a guy that was hiding underneath his bed in the back bedroom, but we got him taken care of. So.
Oh, geez. I just have a couple of more questions for you, and we're gonna get these guys on. But one question that I have asked you before. Okay, you got your choice: World of Outlaw, Knoxville Nationals, Mark Dobmeier parking it in Victory Lane, or World of Outlaws, River Cities Speedway. I mean, they're like night and day when you think about it, but I know what your answer has been before. I know what you think about your home track, but give me an answer there now. I want to see if it's changed.
River Cities Speedway.
Yeah, isn't that something?
It is. I mean, I'd love to win the Knoxville Nationals, obviously, as well, but there's something about being at your home track and the energy, just electricity in the stands just gets amazing, We're able to, Houston Speedway is kind of my second home track. Obviously, I have a lot of races in there as well and championships, but I've beat the Outlaws there twice. Once off the front row and once from 10th, and that night I came.
That's a good one.
That night I came from 10th and passed for the lead. I mean, like even in the car, I could feel the electricity in the grandstands. There's over 10,000 people there that night. And it was just the feeling you get at your home track when you can pull something off is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And
I can imagine.
I've been close here in Grand Forks. We had that one race a couple years ago where I started, I think it was like 19th or something. I got to second, and we were right there, but we were all used up by the time we got to the fast Donny shots. So we didn't have enough for him, but it was.
And if you're going to lose and take second place to somebody, you might as well be Donnie.
I have a lot of respect for that man. He's the cleanest racer around, and he's not afraid to help you out if you have a question or something like that.
Right,
he's a very friendly guy, and I have all the respect in the world for him.
I got one more question for you. Hot weather, we're talking 90s now for at least probably the next week to 10 days.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, well, I know. And I've always said I'd rather be too warm than too cold. But what is the difference with you guys? I mean, you're wearing the fire suits. I don't know if you're wearing the long johns and all that. I would imagine that probably is a deal now. And I'm guessing your boss probably had something to say about that. But is it different? I mean, car setup, track setup, things change. When it gets this unbearable heat, is it a big difference for you as far as you and your crew, your driving style, your setup style, all that stuff?
It's still sprint car racing. It's the same thing as far as that goes. But the heat does change the track. They got to keep enough water in it, and then if the wind's up, it dries up. If the heat's up, it dries up. So, and you just change your setup to whatever the track is. So whatever you're feeling. So. All
right. You gonna have the merch trailer there tomorrow?
No, we're not allowed to bring it out.
Okay.
I know nothing. I know nothing.
I don't know.
But we do have merchandise in the River Cities Speedway trailer that Lori Conzi runs. And I think that probably will be out there. So you should be able to get a hold of it there. Otherwise, down at our race trailer, we have it. Or online, we got stuff for sale as well. So.
Yeah, and you can also check out the Bullring Boys t-shirts. In fact, I'm wearing the prototype of the very first one here coming up. I know you're busy. We didn't mean to get knocked off the air, but people have been bugging me ever since the Arizona thing, and everybody seems to think that I'm like your official spokesperson or somebody, and I'm not. I'm fortunate enough to get to talk to you. You know, usually a couple of times a week we try to talk, but so people do kind of lean on me a little bit, and I don't feel like I should be the one to really say anything. All I'll say is, yeah, I saw pictures. I talked to him today. He's doing good.
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of people are wondering, and again, you know, after your first wreck, you got one hell of a support system. There's no doubt about it. We knew you were going to get over this.
I do. With my crew and friends and family and everybody helps out. It's absolutely amazing. Anytime something major's happen, everyone's right there to help out. And even the weird thing is, even when I was in Arizona, you think, you know, hey, I don't know anybody out there. Well, I have aunts and uncles that were staying out there. They'd come see me. And John Stengram, who run the parts truck around here, he'd come see me. He was down there for a while. And I had some other relatives from the Fertile area that came to see me. I mean, I actually had a lot of visitors.
Yeah.
And just people traveling through that stopped by that heard I was in there as well. So it was support group was amazing. That's what gets you back on your feet, gets you going.
Did your racing Facebook page get hacked?
It did.
So you got a new one now or something?
Yeah, some foreigner, I guess, hacked us.
No way.
Oh yeah, if you
I'm Mark Dobmeier.
Yeah, basically that's what it was. If you YouTube it, like right after the accident too, the guy that stole our page, he got on there and he was doing this video about this super Mark Dobmeier was injured in a crash, and it's just like, oh my god.
I'm Mark Dobmeier.
So we did start a new Facebook page, and yeah, it's catching on, and we'll start posting more on there now that we're getting going. We've been
so follow it.
Been a little hectic here last couple months, so we haven't done a whole lot, but we'll get on that and get her going. My wife does a great job with it, so.
Oh, okay. Dang, can I get the guy with the Mohawks number? You got some girl wants your phone number.
Taken.
All right. We're going to take a little break. I know you got to get back to work, and I sure appreciate the hell out of you coming in. I know how busy you are. I drive by your shop every day. All I got to do is look at the parking lot, and I know what it's like. So we appreciate you coming in again. You're probably, well, if you look around here, I've got more Mark Dobmeier pictures than probably any other race car driver around. So we appreciate you coming in. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow night. Any last words before you get out of here?
No, just thanks for having me, and hopefully everyone can make it out tomorrow. Hopefully it gets a nice hot night, and I mean, nothing beats the Outlaw Show in Grand Forks. So my goal tomorrow is to go there and give it hell and put this Buffalo Wild Wings, Lunster Motorsports, GLB Transport, Kilo Trucking, Dulster Motors car up in Victory Lane.
You got her all.
You got it.
He didn't even have a cheat sheet with you.
This ain't his first rodeo.
Oh, I know it's not. All right, there you go, Mark Dobmeier. Be watching for him. He'll be running again tomorrow night with the World of Outlaws. We're going to take just a little bit of a break here. We're going to be back with Wes Irwin. Jeff Cornell's going to hopefully come and sit down with us, too. We call him Chewy in the race car world. And we'll be back with these guys, but let's hear from a couple of sponsors like Muskox. Hey, if you move snow with a skid steer, you've got to see the Muskox difference. A patented back drag feature allows operators to blow snow while back dragging in front of obstructions. You know, garage doors, siding, and fire hydrants. Now, this saves time and money while lowering injury risk by decreasing manual labor. The optional dual auger, called the dually, helps the operator eat through big snowfalls, ice-crusted snow, and blow more snow while back dragging. And the glide plate, it allows you to glide over grass and gravel without ripping up the soft surfaces. Subsequently, create an instant torque of the lower cutting edge to break up snow and ice to better expose hard surfaces. See the Muskox difference. Go to muskox.com or Facebook at Muskox Snowblowers or call 218-288-1905. See the difference for yourself. It's the Muskox difference. Slow down. Everything needs to be done right now, just like an oil change. I tell you what, here's what you do. You go to Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Most of the time, you're in and out of there in about 15 or 20 minutes. That's where I go. They do tranny and coolant flushes, too, tire rotations and batteries. When you get that oil change, you're going to top off your fluids, check your tires, battery, lights, wipers, your cabin air filter. They're going to give you discounts for fleets, and if you're in the military, you're going to get a discount, too. They can text and email invoices and coupons, and if you mention Grand Forks Best Source, they'll knock $10 off your oil change. They're open Monday through Saturday, no appointment needed. Pickup and delivery available if you live in Grand Forks, too. Hey, come to Valvoline Instant Oil Change for a complete oil change and more. 3325 South 38th Street, or call them up, 701-780-8462. Make sure you tell them Grand Forks Best Source sent you. You get that $10 off your oil change. All right, let's see. Wes Irwin in the studio today. I'm turning the wrong volumes up. And we're trying to get Jeff Cornels in here too, but he's not cooperating with us. We're doing the same thing too. Oh, except I'm empty. I'll have to get a new one. Haven't hardly got to say anything to you yet, man, but I look forward to when you two guys come to town. I mean, not only because we know the World of Outlaws are here, but I follow you guys year-round. I get to see where you're at all the time, whether it's involving racing or not. But great to have you back in the studio, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, you got to put Mark Dobmeier before me. I love Mark. He's one of the best. Great guy. So glad you got to talk to him. Glad he had a chance to get in here. And he's always a factor when we're here in this area. You know, that guy can wheel a race car, and he's a good guy. He'll love his family, great people. So by all means, he was before me.
Yeah, we've known him for a long time. I'm trying to, it was a good try. Oh, I think somebody was messing with you there when they wanted to know the Mohawk number.
Oh, great.
Is there do you know a Linda?
That is my girl.
Okay, so she's the one saying, dang, can I get the guy with the Mohawks number?
Listen, Linda, knock it off.
Shelly says, Linda, that was a good try. Too bad he doesn't know it's you asking. Well, now he does. All right. So you guys rolled into town. I know I saw you yesterday at the track. You were filling up your water and your hauler and everything. But when did you roll in?
Oh, geez, man. I'll tell you what. I mean, we come here twice a year. I always prefer the later date because we have a little more time to spend with all you great folks up here, and we do have a lot of good friends here. But, you know, we raced at Lawrenceburg for Memorial Day. That's pretty much a tradition anymore, it seems like, since I've been out here. But, you know, now you're looking at a 16-hour drive to get over here. Now, we got time. We don't race till Friday, but I needed to get Big Blue, which I call my toter home, serviced over at Schatz' truck stop down in Fargo. And, you know, they do that every time we come up through there. Yeah, there's a little kid out there pushing his face
putting
up the
fingerprints on the window. Yep.
Get that Windex out. But I had to be there, and you know, I wanted to do that in the morning. So you're looking at 2 overnight drives, you know, and then I had to get propane. I had to do this. I had to do that. There was this whole list of things that had to be done, and I still haven't got to Walmart to get some supplies too. But you know, I pulled in about 10:30, I believe it was, when I pulled into the track. Okay. And then I filled up with some water, and I got the trailer all set up or parked where I needed it to be. And then next thing you know, the go-kart races are going on. Had to, you know, make an appearance over there. Sure. Took some things over for them to give to the winners, and they unfortunately got rained out. So we ended up at the Broken Drum. Big surprise there, right? The Broken Drum is a lot of fun. I really appreciate those people over there. They're always good to us when we're in town.
Yeah, and like they know everybody. You guys now.
Yeah, they do. And, you know, I'm actually going to be talking to the owner, so put this in your notes if you're listening and you're coming to River Cities Speedway when we're there in August. I don't know what the date is exactly, but I think we're going to do an event over there, a Living Like Outlaws event. I'm putting something together, so I haven't talked to the owners yet. So if anybody's, let them know I'm going to be talking to them about an event over there. But we're going to have some fun, maybe get some drivers there and have some raffles and things like that. But we're working on it. We'll let you know ahead of time for sure. But everything is fun here. We had breakfast today at Darcy's. I've been told to go there a few times, but you know, that's the thing about this life. You know, you run out of time, believe it or not, even though people are like, well, you only work 2 days a week, but you know, you put the driving factor in there, and then, you know, you get to these towns and you get to know people just like you and I, you know, Keith and Ann, and, you know, just everybody. Katie's from here. So now Katie's working with me. And, you know, just all these people you got to visit with. You're trying to jam it all in a couple days. Sure. And you run out of time. You feel bad
if you can't.
Exactly. I feel really bad because we have a lot of followers, a lot of friends, and I try to be that guy. You know, I don't like being that guy who's like, yeah, one of these days. Right. Because, you know, one of these days might not ever happen.
Because then people always say, well, that's what you said last time.
Yeah, what a dick. What a dick. Yeah. He said he was going to hang out with us last time. What a jerk.
And by the way, you guys will be back August 25th.
That's it. Okay, good. Okay. And then we'll have a little more time here, but yeah, you pack a lot of things into a couple of days. And, it gets a little rough.
And you know, people don't realize, too, when you say, okay, I've got a 17 or an 18-hour drive to get to the next gig, you can't just go drive 17 or 18 hours because Johnny Law's got something to say about that, don't they?
Yeah, well, you know, we're on logbooks now. I mean, when I first started, we weren't, but now we are. So that only allows me to drive 10 hours at a time. Sure. So you got to plan things out, too. You know, again, I had to get serviced at Schatz' truck stop, Petro, down there in Fargo. So you don't want to plan it out that I was the first guy at the door because it's not by appointment. So you want to be the first once you get done, and that way I could get up here right away. But, it just jammed up. I was late for your show. But you got a blackout anyway for some reason, whatever that was. But, we were at Darcy's. We had a great breakfast. I finally got to meet her, and I found out she follows the page. How cool is that?
Yeah,
It's
that's pretty cool.
Really cool when you find that stuff out. And she seemed very happy that I finally came in because people have told me to go down there. And it's a great breakfast, guys. It's right near the track. Hell, you can walk there, really.
Yeah.
But a great breakfast, a way to start the day. And then I noticed next door there was a barber shop, and I've been working on fixing my mohawk a little bit.
Yeah.
I cut it off to regrow it. It's been getting chopped up pretty good. So there was a barber shop next door, and we stopped over with him. And
it happened to be the same family that's been cutting your hair ever since you've been getting a haircut in Grand Forks.
Yeah, pretty much. And great guy, great little barber shop. And I was glad I went in there because he made it look a heck of a lot nicer than it has been the last few weeks. But so I got his card. We'll make sure we visit him again. And he calls it Blazing Fades, I believe.
Yeah. Blazing Fades.
Blazing Fades.
Yeah.
Blazing Fades, I believe, is the name of his shop right next door to Darcy. So check him out when you're in town. You need a haircut here at the races. Some of us guys got to do that. But I got laundry done yesterday. I mean, I just jammed stuff into a amount of time. I can't even believe I got it done.
Yeah, and when I follow both you guys on social media, one day you might be sitting there with your heads against a washing machine or a dryer or a laundromat, but people don't realize that your life, oh gosh, you guys live like rock stars. You live in Toter. You have to find somewhere like Walmart to get your supplies. You have to find somewhere to do your laundry. You have to find somewhere to get a haircut. If you have a breakdown, you have to find somewhere that will fix this stuff. It's got to help, though. You guys have been doing this for long enough now. And like you said, you got friends now all over the country.
It's great.
It's got to help when you can make a phone call. Greg, hey, I'm having trouble with my scooter or something. Run it over. It's got to make a big difference.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, and it's every town. This one especially a little more than some. I always say when we come here, we have some of the best friends here, and like you mentioned, Greg there with
Gateway Sports.
Gateway Sports. I mean, he's helped me out of a couple jams a few times. I don't ever have to call the guy. We roll in the town and said, hey, my ruckus needs a little work. He does it, just great people here appreciate the sport too. So that probably, that makes the world go around a little bit, but we want to talk about all the places we visit and all the things we do because we want fans that are putting this track on their bucket list to actually come and say, you know what? I've seen all these things that you can go and do thanks to this page.
Sure.
So we're going to go to that track.
Right. I'm not just coming here to sit at the racetrack all weekend.
Right. Obviously, that's what I'm trying to do with this page. It's just like a fan guide, I guess you could say. And, it's a little bit about my life, of course. But, we try to show everybody things like I got that new Brew and Chew review video. I always post about wherever I go. You got your Now You Know. I'm starting to do that little series. That's a lot of fun, and we're talking to people that are behind the scenes.
Right.
Everybody. Not to take away from our drivers. I'm gonna hopefully do some things with them this summer too. But I like talking to these people that are behind the scenes that are passionate about the sport, and if it wasn't for them.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It wouldn't,
absolutely.
It slowed our sport down a little bit. So we've had some great little shows. We're trying to do little video series and things like that. We're having a lot of fun with it. And that's all it's going to be about. I'm not trying to get super serious, but in a way I am.
Right. Joshua says, I've followed your page for several years now and appreciate the traveling and behind the scenes stuff you post. And that's something we kind of do too. A lot of people will say, well, it's another racing podcast. But like last week, we had the head of concessions on at River Cities Speedway. I've gotten fire and rescue. We've had track prep guys.
Yeah.
There's way more than just the guys out there, driving these race cars that make a race happen. There's a lot of support, a lot of people, and a lot of things to do. But when you started doing the blog and things, this thing just kind of morphed into some pretty big stuff, didn't it? Now you're talking buying a bunch of merch and all of that kind of stuff. But did you imagine or did you hope that it was going to turn out this way? Because let's face it, you're getting pretty large out there, bud.
Large and in charge. Well,
there you go.
I hoped that it would get big and grow into something, but I want it to mean something too. I want it to grow into something that's useful, not useless. So, I didn't think it was going to take off as fast as it has. And, the the social media world's a slow process sometimes, like especially our YouTube channel. I mean, it takes forever to get a following on there. But
sure does. Yeah.
I noticed that our stuff is growing a little quicker than some, and more during racing season, of course.
Obviously, yeah.
You know, winter time's kind of downtime, and there ain't much to post about. You know, luckily I stay at a racetrack over the winter that has a few races. So, but yeah, I'm glad it's growing, man. I think it's really great. It's a challenge for me. You know, I'm not in the race car anymore, so and I'm not really where I wanted to be in the sport as far as what I do for the World of Outlaws either. But I've learned to embrace what I do by working in the merchandise trailer. I always thought I'd be an official or something like that because I can do that kind of stuff. But I've learned to embrace, and it's turned out to be a good thing for me. But this living like outlaws thing means a lot to me. It really does. I'm really starting to get into it. And like you said, we are definitely doing a whole new line of apparel, my own stuff. We had some stuff out last year, but I didn't really like push it super hard just because I don't have a store or an online store or anything like that. But we're almost out of all that stuff already. So it's just scary, though, you know, buying all that stuff and sitting on that money. But and I'm pretty sure people will buy my stuff. I got some pretty cool stuff designed going into next year. And the people I use are great people. So I know they're all probably waiting and wondering, why hasn't he called me in a while? But I'll be calling you guys. We're going to be doing some work.
And if you're wondering, I don't know if you could see it from here, but I've actually got one of his can koozies, and the Living Like Outlaws logo is so badass. I mean, I love that, the skull with the mohawk kind of thing.
Yeah. I got lucky with that logo. You know, I wanted to I kind of always like skulls are cool in racing, you know, and the flags in the background. You know, I kind of want something a little old school, but something a little me, something a little like not too loud because I didn't want to have a lot of stuff going on it. And Kevin Conger over at Casey Graphics, he whipped that up, and there it is.
Yep.
I only had to see it once. I'm like, that's it, right there.
Nailed it.
That's it.
Do you miss being in a race car?
You know, here recently I've gotten a little bit of those butterflies in my stomach when we're at some of the shows, and it's like I kind of do, you know, when I sit back and think about it now, but I can never be at the level some of these guys are at just because of the resources they have and things like that. You know, I'm glad I got to do it. I'm not, you know, I wasn't, you know, a top driver or anything like that, but, you know, I can feel proud to know that I've done something I've always wanted to do and loved. And now I'm just trying to be better on the other side of the fence of it, you know?
Sure. Paul says, I love how Wes gets involved in both the local community and the future of our sport with his youth driver program. Amanda Joe, Wes, it's wonderful, the different aspects of racing you share with everyone. You know, you're doing a good job when you start to hear people, you know, text, things like that and follow you. And I saw your post this morning saying you're going to be on the show. And I mean, a lot of people know that just from... I don't have to promote it because you already did, and they're going to be watching the show. But do you get, I mean, you guys, the World of Outlaws schedule is a grind. I mean, you guys work how many months of the year are you on the road?
Pretty much 10, 9.5 to 10 months.
Okay, and you crisscross the country, what, twice?
Well, this year just once. But yeah, we go out west. Yeah, we didn't go out west this spring like we normally do. They're trying something a little different, you know, keep the cost down. And weather, you know, springtime's always a crapshoot.
It's a crap
for the most part. But I feel like we lost a lot of races this spring. But I think they feel it was better that we lost them here on the East Coast and not on the West Coast. Sure. The guys were a little closer to their shops, you know, so they didn't spend as much money to not make any money.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely a lot of miles, man. And it's definitely grueling. And again, when you go back to all the friends I've made in the last 6 years. You know, you try to spend time with these people. It turns into a busy schedule.
It does.
I know Linda's always, you know, like we don't get to talk that much on the phone. And it's, you know, it's true. I am absolutely always doing something.
Yeah.
But I do like being busy. It's kind of a lot. It's nice, you know.
Sure.
But I try working harder, spending more time giving her some phone calls, you know.
Yeah. Well, you gotta.
Well, yeah, you gotta keep them happy, right?
You travel with animals.
Yeah, my 2 cats. A lot of people that follow me know that. You know, Smokey Bones, my boy cat. He's 13. He's been on the road as long as I have, and we picked up a hitchhiker, I guess you could say. We picked up a little girl cat, Miss Marbles, and she's turned out to be a riot. Actually, we found her at River Cities Speedway Park. And,
okay.
And we tried to get her a home. It didn't work out. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm going to end up with another cat. And yep, that's what happened. So make a long story short, she's in my life now. So we've had her. She's been with me for a little over a year now, and she's a great cat.
Well, it makes you feel any better, Wes. One of my cats is 19 and the other one's 21.
Well, yeah, my last cat,
still
yeah,
going.
she was 21 when we had to put her down. And, you know, Smoke got a little, Smokey Bones got a little depressed. So I think this was good for him to have Miss Marbles pop into his life a little bit. But, you know, it seemed to put a spring back in his step. It's funny. You know, people are like, well, you got to get him another friend. And I'm like, okay, when he's gone, then I'm going to have to get her another friend.
Yep.
It's a vicious cycle with these cats.
When does it end?
Yes, when does it end?
Yeah, it's like me. You know, we had 3 dogs put down in less than a year's span. They were all rescue dogs, and we had them forever. So instead of giving it a little bit of time, right away I go get another rescue dog. Yeah. I got this, you know, a couple $1,000 dog for very cheap, and the thing was turnkey. I mean, he was 4 months old. He was already crate trained, house trained, all that stuff. 3 days after I got him, broke his leg.
Oh, Jesus.
So he had to have orthopedic surgery, plates, screws, all that. So now my cheap dog is worth a lot of money.
Well, and it's what we do for our pets, though, man. You know what I mean?
It is. You know, they'll eat before I do.
There's you know, it's funny about, like, you know, when I think about it, now that we're talking about pets on the road anyway, there is a lot of damn pets on the road.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So there's this whole world of op paws, I call them.
Yeah.
On the road, we got Bubba Booey, you know, my buddy Bubba. You got Millie, Brock Zerfoss, and Kaylee have Millie now, and she's turning out to be a cool dog. Gio and his girl just got a dog, and what's her name? Maggie, I think. Maggie. Jacob and Hannah have Maggie and Otis.
How many boxers are there? It seems like race car drivers love boxers for some reason.
I don't think there's any boxers out in our, you know, Bubba Booey's a bulldog, you know, and yeah, there's a couple of French bulldogs that come out and about once in a while. 41, Amber and Chad's dog, and then, you know, Bobby Johnson and Jax have 5. They got some strange names, but when you let a kid name a dog, I guess that's going to happen. It's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, I've had dogs named Rodney. I've had a cat named Dave. I've had a cat named Ron.
Well, we do this little thing, and I haven't done them recently. The last few races gotten a little busy because Anastasia was off for a weekend, and, you know, when we were at Atomic. So I do this thing called the Design Metal Art Quick Look to help just promote my friend Greg out there in Knoxville. He does a great job with custom made, like, things for race fans. And we do this thing where we walk around, and I started including all the dogs in it, and I stop by and give them a treat in the video. So I do this thing where if you got a lot of people bring their dogs out to the races, and even cats, and I tell them to bring them down to the trailer and have a meet and treat. I got treats in the trailer ready for your pup. So when you're coming down to get your Almost Famous Suvi selfie, bring your dog down too.
There you go. The Almost Famous selfie. Tell us about that, because that's getting pretty crazy now too.
Well, you know, again, just wanted to do something more fun for the fans, and even the little things in life are fun. You know, you don't think about it. It's like, you know, I started doing it. I was like, people are probably going to think I'm an idiot or this is stupid. But people love to see themselves on Sunday when I post it on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, so if it's like I did some on Memorial Day. Now, those won't go up till Sunday, but they'll be added into the ones at River City and the ones when we go to this next track in Minnesota, which I've never been, by the way. Ogilvy.
Oh, yeah, Ogilvy.
Raceway.
Sure. Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that. I think one of my kids raced there. Ashley Williams, I believe, one of my Living Like Outlaws youth program kids had raced there in her micro. I believe she used to race there a lot, so I'll have to ask her about it. But yeah, it's fun, man. You know what I mean? It's just fun. That Almost Famous Suvi selfies turned out to be something kind of cool.
Yeah, and
people come up to get it, and it's badass, you know. And I think it makes it fun down in the Midway.
Well, sure,
you know,
it does.
Other people
Absolutely,
see it going on,
it
and they're like, "What's going on here?" And then they ask about it, you know, and
it's something that doesn't take a lot of time and effort to do, you know.
Well, excuse me. They, you know, when you go to a baseball game, and I go to a lot of them, you know, people get crazy about being on the jumbo screen.
Yep.
Well, we don't do that. I don't know why we don't do that, but so I kind of do it through a picture, you know, and that way these kids that get on there, their parents will show them on Facebook on Sunday. Look, you're on this, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, it's the little things that feel like a big deal to people sometimes.
You nailed it right there.
Yeah.
You nailed it. You know, we started talking about pets. I'd bring up cats. Kelly says, "Cat Daddy, God love you, Wes." Kaylee Elizabeth Pella.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Pella. Yeah.
Yep. Dave.
There's
Dave
just so
Bartlett,
many of them.
guinea pig named Gizmo. I mean, it's funny. People talk about their pets like they are family.
They are.
And I absolutely agree with you. And I would think that even having 2 cats on the road, because a lot of people, if you're a cat owner, I mean, I own 2 cats, they're not the most personable creatures on the planet compared to a dog. But when you're on the road by yourself, I would even imagine 2 cats makes a big difference.
Yeah, when it's cold at night, they get under the blankets and they keep me warm. So on those cold nights, but no, my cats are a lot like dogs, believe it or not. They kind of act like them. So
Yeah, I've had cats like that too. We got one guy here that says cats suck, rodents.
whatever. It's each his own. You know what I mean? But they're definitely easy to maintain as well.
Oh, absolutely. They'll shit in the box.
That's
you don't
right.
have to worry about too many things with them. How long do you think you're going to be doing this? How long can you see Wes Irwin being on the road all the time? Or it's obvious you guys like doing what you're doing. At least I think it looks pretty obvious. But can you see yourself doing this for a long, long time? Or now are you thinking about maybe settling down sometime? Or you got that look on your face like that doesn't sound like fun at all?
It's just a question that I don't have an answer to yet.
Sure, and I get that.
I want to see like where this living like outlaws thing can go. And if Linda's listening, man, you put me on the spot on this one. Because
sorry about that.
she wants that answer too, but I don't know. I really don't honestly know. Do I feel like right now could I do it forever? Sure. You always feel like that when you're into it.
You're indestructible. You're Superman.
Well, and I love the sport. I love starting this this whole deal. Like I love starting this to try to make fans happier and help out as much as I can. I basically give back to the sport that's given me a lot of love. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I don't know. There's not really an answer to that question. You just keep going as long as you can.
You mentioned Linda.
Yeah.
Okay. She's got to be a pretty good girl in order to kind of stick with you doing what you do.
She's got to be half nuts to be with me.
I was trying to put it politically correctly.
Let's just get right down to the point there. There's something wrong with her, but that's okay. It works out. And no, she's a great person. I met her. I met her obviously at the races. Her and her father like racing and go to quite a few shows. And it's been all right. It's just tough. I'm not used to being in one, and I don't even know if I know how to do it anymore. But I'm trying my best.
Seems like it's working out all right.
It's working out okay. Yeah. She's a good looking girl. So.
Did she ever go on the road with you for like a week at a time, or
she did. I mean, they're out a bunch of races. She did ride with me from I-55 to Knoxville.
Oh, okay.
And she was so it seemed like she was excited to ride with me in the Toter Home and experience the whole thing.
Yep.
Shit, she was asleep in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
So I never even got to talk to her.
Right.
So I just had a thought because I saw that Carrie Sue join in on the video here, and maybe you could work out a little side gig, make some extra coin because you go to all these racetracks and everything. And we had her on talking about this Intimidator polish stuff.
Oh, wow.
And it's really great, I mean, for the haulers and everything. So, if you could sell some to these people with all the tracks and everything you go to, I could give you your number and,
Tell her to give me a call.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing we can't ever do, like I got to even watch for what I'm doing with Living Like Outlaws, and so be it, working for the World of Outlaws, I got to watch.
Stepping on toes.
Well, yeah, you don't want to have a conflict of interest, and, I respect the company I work for, so I'm not going to do that, obviously. And so, I do look into some things. There are a lot of it's kind of funny that, businesses are talking to me about, hey, I want to get behind one of your video series, and I'm looking into the process a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, why not?
I mean, Moose's LZ has been with me for a while now. And, it first started out as, they're just great people. They also happen to be the parents of Brock Zerfoss. But, I know those folks for a long time, and they got a great restaurant. And they started seeing, I guess, maybe a little difference in their Facebook numbers and stuff like that. And people started stopping by.
Absolutely, yeah.
And saying, hey, yeah, Wes told us this place is great. And it is. I mean, I would never lie about it. And what a great place to go and have food. And the support they give racing. So, obviously, I'm going to favor them a little more sometimes. I am going to support the ones that support the sport for sure. But they became a sponsor of the Morning Minute, and it works. It works great.
Stay positive, keep smiling, and shake your groove thing.
I don't know where I came with that. I probably was
It's perfect, though. Well, it sounds like something that a drunk person would come up with. But what I get such a kick out of it is the stay positive. That is you.
Well, and you know, I'm going to tell you the truth about some of this stuff. Like, so I'm one to tell people to stay positive, and I'm one to say things like this. I used to put quotes up all the time. And to be honest with you, I do it for myself sometimes, you know, because sometimes you can get down in the dumps for whatever reason. And, you know, I try to self-motivate myself.
Sure.
By motivating others.
Yep.
So.
And another thing, okay, stay positive, keep smiling. These are Wes Irwin that I know, because no matter how bad things are, we don't all have great days. Being in the media, being in radio, doing what I do, you have to act like you're in a good mood all the time.
Sure.
And it's obvious we're not always in a good mood all the time. But the stay positive, the keep smiling is something you working in merchandise trailers, you guys, you can't be a dick. You can't be in a bad mood. You got to keep smiling no matter. And I know you deal with some total assholes out there because they're
unfortunately,
everywhere.
they're everywhere, yes.
And then the shake your groove thing. That's where I thought, okay, he had a couple in him when he come up with that whole thing. And that
must have.
It was
I
like
don't-
perfect, though.
We come up, you know, Chewy's been kind of hanging out with me a lot this year and last year. You know, it's kind of nice to have somebody to travel down the road with.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it's not like, you know, him and I aren't like, we don't know each other forever, you know, but we definitely come up with some one-liners out there, and we like putting them maybe to use. So you might see some shirts out there with some of my sayings on them coming real soon.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we like having fun, and isn't that what it's all about, really? You know, like, you know, there's a lot of people like, you know, get a little mad at maybe some of the fun we have.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's like, what am I supposed to do?
There's a lot of miserable people out there, Wes, that don't want anybody else to have any fun. They want to be miserable, and everybody around them needs to be miserable.
Right.
I mean, come on, people. Really?
You know,
you live once.
I'm fortunate, you know, like I get to do what I do and see the things I see, and sometimes it's even paid for. And with all the friends that take care of us, it's like, why wouldn't I want to enjoy myself?
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I don't got God willing, I have more time on this earth, but you know, I am getting up there in age, and it's like, if I can still have fun, so be it. You know?
Sure. And you mentioned how busy you were. I reached out to you guys a while ago saying, hey, you know what, we can have a little barbecue out at our house. And you had mentioned that you were pretty busy, and I get it. The second time around, hopefully we'll get something going. But I just wanted to give a shout out to my wife out there. And we're probably lucky that you guys are so busy because she's in the hospital.
Yes.
I just got a text from her. I'm thinking maybe we'll be able to spring her out today, but boy, I tell you what, she's not having fun up there, and she's gone through a lot here in the last couple of years, so she won't be at the races, I don't think, tomorrow night, which
Probably is the best.
yeah, well,
best
she's
bet.
banned from the press box up there anyway when you guys are.
Oh, geez. Another story, another time, I guess, right?
Another story, another time. The thing is, and you guys probably see this all over because a lot of the racetracks around the country, they're not in a big city. They might be outside of town a little bit, or they're in the towns like Grand Forks, you know, Fargo, that size town. It's like Reba McEntire is coming to town. I mean, when the World of Outlaws come to town, the whole town, the whole area, the whole freaking state
It's
knows
crazy,
about
man.
it. And it is like rock stars coming to the town because everybody gets keyed up for the World of Outlaws.
Well, you know, the funny thing about it is, it's like sometimes you want a little peace and quiet, and you know, obviously I can hide myself, but try to hide an 80-foot rig
Yeah, I know.
with the logos
From guys
all
like
over the
me,
side.
as soon as you get to town, I'm
Oh,
over
my
pounding on your
God.
door.
I could. We were parked at, you know, last week. Well, yeah, last week. I guess it was last week. But we were in Chillicothe in Ohio because we raced out of Atomic, and another place where we have a lot of good friends, and I love those people to death. And thank you guys if you listen to this. Thanks for the fun times. We had a great time, but we park at a Walmart parking lot there, which is it's a great Walmart, and they're very nice there. And we don't do that too often. I don't like truck stops. I'll do Walmart if I have to, but it's pretty peaceful at this one at night.
Yeah.
But during the day, oh my God, I don't know how many people stopped and talked to me, and I don't
Sure.
mind that.
Right.
But you're not going to escape this. You know, being a part of this, you're not going to escape any of that, and it's kind of cool. But I know some people don't like it and can't handle it, but it is kind of cool. But when you're like your life is not private anymore.
No.
And then I start living like outlaws, and now my life is definitely not private anymore.
Yeah,
so.
it's like me if I'm anywhere with my wife and I have to run to the bathroom or something. She's just like, "Oh, great," because it'll be, "Hey, John, yeah," you end up stopping and talking to people. And my wife is actually watching from the hospital, Reba McIntyre with a question mark. Christy wants to know, how do we get a Living Like Outlaws sticker? Can they get those? Are they available?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few left. I'm getting a whole bunch of new ones made up, so we're revamping my merchandise, I guess you could say. Just Facebook message me or something like that if you're not coming to an outlaw show. But if you are, I mean, obviously I can't sell it to you at the trailer, but you can talk to me and I'll hook you up somewhere after or before the races, and we'll get you hooked up. Just come and see me if you're coming to one of our shows. If not, message me on Facebook and we'll get one out to you.
Okay. I did want to ask Jeff Chewy, shout out. Who are you working for again?
Jason Johnson Racing.
Jason Johnson Racing. You'll be at the merchandise truck tomorrow?
I will have help there, but I'll be around, yeah.
Okay.
That their help gets help. How you like that lifestyle, huh?
Well, do you get help?
No.
Well.
He comes over and helps me a lot. I have had a great year of friends helping out, though. I mean, our trailer is constantly full and with merchandise. It takes a good hour to unload it, because we have stuff down the middle aisle that's like overstock. And there has been a lot of great people. Like Chewy's definitely stepped up to the plate on that this year. Chad and Amber, who work for Bobby too as well, who come out. Chad's been a big help and appreciate him a lot when they help us unload like that. And Anthony from the NOSA sampling trailer, he sticks around a lot to help us out. So it's been really cool. Even had some coworkers help me in the most recent past races, and that's nice. When your coworkers can come out and help you out. But yeah, we've gotten a lot of stock, and, a lot of things going on there. That trailer's pretty full. It's to the gills, but it is what it is what you do. But yeah, we're having fun.
We got a text, and this is kind of how we all feel if you are a true race car fan or a racing fan. Joshua says, for as long as I can remember, several outlaw trailers have parked at the Holiday Inn in Fargo. And I tell a couple of buddies, it's like Christmas time when they show up. And it is. I mean, that's what we see. I drive by this racetrack all the time. And when I was talking to you guys earlier, you were saying, maybe be in town Tuesday, but, we're not quite sure. But it's funny because all of a sudden 1 or 2 or 3 semis start to show up, and I heard Kyle Larson's in town. I saw a semi over. Well, his race team's in town, guys. Come on. But again, getting back to when the World of Outlaws are in town, the whole freaking town is a buzz. Everybody knows about it.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and you guys are welcomed like rock stars.
Yeah, I mean, cool. We do. We got, and you learn how to take that and control that. But those friendships that I made are the most important thing for sure. Feeling like a rock star is okay to a point, but you just want to come in and put on a good show for these folks.
Absolutely.
And then whatever I got to do to help with that part is what I do, whether it be Living Like Outlaws or you can be very entertained at my merchandise trailer when you come up and see me.
Sure.
If I'm not tired.
And that's kind of what it boils down to. You want to be remembered, and you want to be remembered in a good way. So when they come back next year, when you guys come back the next time, they're going to go, Wes, hey,
well, I haven't really had a lot of goals. I mean, I have goals, obviously, but not a lot of goals in, okay, what am I doing with this Living Like Outlaws thing? And now I have a goal. My goal is to contribute to the sport as much as I possibly can and make it better. I want to be in that Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
that's my goal.
I get you. And people ask me all the time, when are you going to quit announcing? And your Hall of Fame's a little different than mine. But I said, as soon as I get into the River Cities Speedway Hall of Fame,
cool, right?
I'll be done. I'll be good with it, and I'll be happy because I absolutely love it. I mean, how many people get to scream about one of the favorite things in their life, and I get to scream and talk about it all night long. Billy, thanks, guys, for making my lunch break awesome. Thank you all for watching us. Thank you guys for coming in again. And maybe when you guys are here on August 25th, you think we could talk freaking Chewy into coming on here?
Well, I'll talk to you later. I might have somebody to bring along that's...
Okay.
Well, Chewy's all right, but I guess somebody might be a little bit important, a little more important than Chewy, but... Chewy's definitely more than welcome to join in for sure. I mean,
he kind of likes to lay in the weeds a little bit, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's good. Somebody's got to do that stuff too.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. Says he might need a few beers for that. Believe me, Nick, we're all doing fairly well. We're not parched.
We got the tiki cup out today, so that means cocktails.
There you go. Wes Irwin, you'll see him tomorrow night. Check out the World of Outlaws merchandise trailer, and you can talk to Wes. And I tell you what, if he's not busy as heck like he usually is, talk to the guy for a couple of minutes. You're going to absolutely love talking to him if you haven't before. Jeff Cornell's in the studio too, and again, we will get you back on this show one of these days. And I'm getting told that I'm on the wrong camera, but again, thank you guys. I can't wait to see you guys. Well, probably later tonight, but tomorrow at the racetrack. Wow, there we go. I want to give a shout out to Rumor Sports Bar and Casino too for bringing us a Dirty Thursday today. Man, BT over at Rumor Sports Bar and Casino, they have been with us since day one of Dirty Thursdays, and we love that place. In fact, go check out their lunch and their express lunches, and they've got great dinner specials. In fact, from 5 to 11 tonight, get sandwich and a side for just $7. NBA Finals start tonight. There's like 900 TVs in Rumor Sports Bar and Casino. You'll be able to go check out the NBA Finals tonight if you give a rat's butt about basketball. NHL Finals start Saturday. Now you were talking a real sport there. Again, thank you to Rumors. Thank you to Wes Irwin for coming in. And, of course, Mark Dobmeier was in here earlier. Yeah. He'll be running tomorrow. Hey, don't forget now, Fork Sports Highway is on at 6:30 tonight. Going to be a great show, and you know they're going to be talking about the NBA Finals tonight. And also, new show, Brew Brothers, coming on at 9 o'clock tonight. Make sure you get that. I'm going to be gone tomorrow. I'm going back to the doctor. Maybe I'll see you at the track tomorrow night. But I tell you what, folks, thanks for listening. And remember to like, share, tag, and follow us. Hit that notification bell on your smartphone. You'll never miss a show that way. The Grand Cities is an awesome place. And Grand Forks' best source is giving it an identity again.